Hey guys, welcome to the podcast Strikes Back. My name is George, and you're listening to our first video game episode where we're talking about the Switch. We're talking about Zelda Breath of the Wild. And luckily for us today, we've got a really cool guest. We've got Nick from the Guide to Good Gaming. How are you, man?
Hey, man. Great. Happy to be here.
Thanks so much for coming. And we've also got my boy, Benny Smith.
Hello, I don't have another podcast.
We've only got one podcast. Don't get greedy.
You could make another podcast.
No, the one's too much.
Let's get into it. So the Switch, it's out. We've had a little bit of time to play it and let it sort of sink in. The overall hype has kind of died down. Benny, you picked one up.
Yep, I was at the midnight launch. I'm a Nintendo fanboy.
For life.
For life. I made it through the Wii U, I'll make it through anything. Yep, I'm loving it. I've been playing it non-stop since I got it.
Are you playing mainly on the handheld or the TV?
On the TV. I got a big fuck-off TV, so I'm absolutely using that. I have been using it on buses and stuff when I'm out of the house, and that's also awesome.
I've been completely the opposite of that. I'm doing all handheld. I haven't even plugged it into the TV yet.
You got to check it out, man. It is gorgeous. I can't believe how powerful that little thing is.
We don't all have TVs like you, Bab.
No.
Like, your TV is a man. That's a man-sized TV. Like, Connor-sized.
Well, he's not man-sized, is he?
It's also in like very close proximity to your eyeballs.
Absolutely,
so it seems even bigger.
Yeah, it's almost VR, how close I sit.
And you've had a pretty good play on the Switch.
Yeah, so I've used Ben's, I've used another friend of ours, Lucas's. I've used it almost exclusively in the portable form, just because I've been stealing it from other people, basically. And fuck, it's so nice. God, it feels so good to hold in your hand. Build quality and the aesthetics of it, especially because, as we'll hear a little bit later, I've been playing a lot of Wii U recently. God, the Switch feels so much better.
It makes that thing look like a Fisher-Price toy.
Yeah, it does.
Like it always kind of did, but this thing, just design-wise, it's like an Apple thing or something.
They've taken it up a notch for sure.
It's so sleek.
When I opened the box for the first time, it seemed so small. I don't know. I guess I was expecting more of a Wii U-sized device, and it was compact, sleek. I love the gunmetal grey look of it as well. They just really nailed the product design, I thought.
Yeah, it has a really small bevel. The edge of it is so small. You're just like, oh, straight. It's just a screen.
It's such a surprise how well it runs, given that small size. Like my PS4 often sounds like a jet engine when it's just sitting there. But this thing, you switch it between handheld mode and TV. It's just instantaneous. There's no issue with it. It makes a little bit of sound when you take it out to go to handheld. But it doesn't get hot, which is crazy. I don't understand how that even works.
Yeah, there's no fan sound. It doesn't heat up. It just feels like it's running so smoothly. The frame rate. I've heard there's some issues with the TV version. When you're in the dock, the frame rate drops. I don't know how true that is.
Very slight
Okay,
frame rate drop, yeah.
It's a bit of hyperbole there, but...
I haven't found it very noticeable.
I literally have only played it in the handheld version, but there's the little kickstand and you can do, your 1-2 switch thing. Have you guys played... I mean, how are you playing it on the TV, Benny? Are you using a controller?
I started out using the controller, and about half an hour later, I was just using the Joy-Cons on their own, and I just love it. I could just relax and lie back, hands wherever I want them. It actually feels like a new way to play games. It's awesome.
Yeah, the little amount of time that I've had with it, with the Joy-Cons unattached, is so liberating. You're just like, I can sit in whatever orientation I want. I can be lying down. I can have my hands in my lap. I can be like, it seems like such a tiny thing, but it makes you so relaxed. And because you're so relaxed, you're so much more into the game because you're unaware of your body anymore.
Yeah, it kind of is the next step along from the Wii U. The initial Wii nunchuck configuration. Except there's no cord at all, and I need to give that playing style a go.
They're essentially VR controllers.
Yeah.
That's what everyone else is doing. Right? Yeah, and it just doesn't feel as much like an interface. You're kind of just into it.
Have you guys had any sort of negatives about the Switch?
I don't like the kickstand very much. It's quite small, and the angle that you have to have it at for the kickstand to work. Doesn't work on all surfaces. Like, it's not necessarily going to be really useful when you're out and about and you want to like sit on, you know, like a wobbly table or like a little tray table in a plane. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but it doesn't feel really stable. But it doesn't hugely matter because I can always just like prop it up on something as well. Like, it's so small that I can put like my glasses case behind it and that's fine.
Did you see that CNET video where they were like testing the kickstand?
No.
It was the most rigorous test of that poor little kickstand I've ever seen. This guy is manhandling the Switch controller. I was like, come on, dude. Like, be reasonable. You're going to place it down. You're not going to...
Personally...
You personally?
Me personally, I've found it to have lived up to expectations in every way. From that first trailer we saw, that funky trailer that just made it look too good to be true, I was very worried after that because... you know, I'm going to love Nintendo till the day I die, but it'd be hard not to have lost a bit of faith in them in the past few years, just in terms of hardware releases and the complete lack of software. But this thing, this is what they've been working on. Like, this is where they've been, because I've been blown away by it. I will say, in terms of issues, I have experienced the left Joy-Con issue that some people are talking about when there's a slight delay in the input. But it's very easily solved. I just move my hand a little closer to the unit, and it seems fine.
Oh, okay. I haven't even heard about that. So it's losing connectivity with the left one specifically.
Well, you'll hit up, and say you're playing Zelda, Link will just walk for 2 seconds, instead of just stopping. But it's very minor. You wouldn't even notice it necessarily. And
they've addressed that in like there are different things that they've said for connectivity, like move closer, obviously, because. You can play in any orientation. People are playing in like weird lying down with the controllers like underneath their chest kind of thing. And like, okay,
hey, I do it.
Guys, you're going to have to settle down a little bit. But they have also said we're looking at updating the firmware to address those issues. And they've already rolled out one hotfix for something else that I can't remember. So they have been open about addressing issues with software updates.
Oh, that's good to hear, and I hope that this unit has a lot more longevity than the Wii U does. And I think this is kind of what they wanted to do with the Wii U, but they didn't. That was kind of their prototype run. They needed to kind of do that to sort of figure out how does this sit in the market, what does this unit actually need to be, and they've learned from the Wii U, and they've kind of done version 2.0.
It feels a lot like the switch between the first iPod and like an iPhone.
It's one of those devices that makes the one you realize the one that came before it was a prototype. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is what we were working towards.
The patents came out, last year, and people have dug down pretty deep into them to have a look. And there looks like there's a lot of room for this console to grow in different Joy-Cons. So they've patented different designs for Joy-Cons, including, like, the first one that seems like it's going to come out is a different left Joy-Con, which has an analog up and down.
Awesome.
So you can play older games more comfortably. Oh. So it's got the analog directional D-pad.
You're blowing George's mind.
I'm just thinking of the applications for like exclusive controls for
certain games. Yeah.
We are going to spend so much money on Joy-Cons.
Oh, yeah.
These are the new Wiimotes. Damn it.
There's patent designs for Joy-Cons with cameras built into them, so you can use it for like an actual little camera built into the bottom of it, so you can use it for AR kind of stuff, potentially for a new Pokemon Snap or something like that.
Yes.
And there's even a patent design for a head-mounted display where the Switch would insert itself into like a Samsung Gear or a Google Dream.
It would insert itself?
Yes.
How smart is this thing?
That sounds terrifying.
So there's a potential for a VR version.
Awesome.
Or at least a head-mounted display where you just like freak out because the screen becomes enormous. Because the Joy-Cons are already like that designed for that kind of gaming.
It sounds like they've really left a lot of room open to keep the marketing machine of this unit going and functionality as well. it sounds like they're really sort of future-proofing this machine.
Yeah.
The Wii U kind of gassed out after 18 months, I feel. It's 2012 it came out. Seems like longer than that, and
Seems like way longer than that. What?
Yeah. So it had one of the shorter life cycles of the Nintendo units.
Yeesh.
And this one, it sounds like they've got a lot more room to play with going forward.
They've got to capitalize on it, though. They've got to start just smashing this thing with software and other things, apps. Got to get those apps on there.
So this launch was interesting because Zelda has really been the only game to sort of come out, and interesting strategy, and I think it's worked pretty well for them. I think the sales have been great.
I've mostly been playing Just Dance.
There, for the record, there was also Bomberman R, 1-2 Switch, and Just Dance.
And Street Fighter, wasn't there?
No, Street Fighter's not out yet.
This is by far, I believe, the smallest group of launch titles for a Nintendo console.
Yeah,
But strategically, they've been able to only put out one game and keep the hype and the reach and awareness of this console. It's everyone knows about the Switch. Everyone's talking about the Switch. So they've been able to keep their stockpile of games nice and high and not give out too much. So hopefully, I actually don't know what's coming out soon. I think Mario Kart 8 is up. Mario Odyssey's later on in this year.
Yep.
We've got Splatoon 2.
It doesn't matter though. This is like the only case in history where you only need the one game. This is the game. Like this is,
And from all the reviews, everyone's freaking loving it.
everyone. Yeah, I've never seen so many perfect scores.
it broke Metacritic's record of most perfect scores for any game.
There you go.
At like 143 or something. It was a
Wow.
ridiculous number.
Mm.
It got Fumatsu's 40/40, which only
I think 16 or...
yeah, it's a handful of
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
10 on IGN.
Yeah. And it's worth it, man. Like this game, Zelda is.
Yeah, spoilers, but this thing's a masterpiece.
Yeah, so let's just get into it. Let's get into our Zelda review. So yeah, this game came out. I really am a diehard Zelda 3D guy. I have to play them all. I'll buy the new console. And Skyward Sword was a massive disappointment for me.
Yep.
I felt like they wanted to give it this expansive, epic feel with flying on the bird and flying in that top area, but it actually felt really small, and going into the different worlds felt like going through a painting in Mario 64. It didn't feel like this continual ecosystem that Wind Waker did. And I think the Breath of the Wild has completely rectified those problems and gone for that Wind Waker epic freedom on steroids.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want in this game. It's awesome.
This game it feels more like Skyrim than any other Zelda game except Wind Waker. And like Wind Waker felt like Skyrim on a boat, sort of.
This game, there was Ocarina of Time, which most people, that was their first Zelda or their first main 3D Zelda, and that made a lot of childhoods. And then
That's me.
Yeah, George, that's George. And then there was Wind Waker, which was actually my first Zelda. And that game, I think, was just the most amazing adventure that had ever been put into video game form at that point. The sense of freedom and scale was like nothing else. And I've personally been chasing that high for 14 years. I never thought I'd find another game that recaptured that kind of spirit from my youth. But here it comes, and here it is. And it's that feeling, like it's as good as that felt when I was a kid, except as a jaded, cynical adult. It's
Playing
amazing.
on your giant screen
Yeah.
that you never would have been able to afford as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine being 12 years old and playing this. I hope they're appreciating this.
Jesus Christ. Children right now, you
so
are
spoiled.
living the dream. But also, sorry, because nothing's going to reach this
Yeah.
maybe ever, at least for another decade. This is a game of a decade.
I was playing this, and I was thinking to myself, Nintendo, you have set the bar so high. You have not trickled this release out. You've put everything you can into this project. Good luck for the next one. I really hope. Maybe this is the new model for Zelda. Maybe they've kind of got that architecture down,
Gonna
and they
have
can
to be.
because this game really highlights. I don't know. I always felt that Ocarina, Majora's Mask, they always felt like massive and free, and I could do whatever I want. But this game really shows you those games are linear, man.
Yeah.
They're very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get to 10. This one is 7. I go over here. I can do whatever I want. Go 3. Any pathway you want to go, you can play this game exactly how you want to play. And it's completely fascinating. And it doesn't feel alien to the Zelda franchise. It still feels like a Zelda game. So they've really been able to make it not feel alien and dissimilar to the other entries, but take it to a new level.
It has a sense of adventure that Zelda games have always had. They're always a hero's quest kind of storyline. But this one, it's just like, sweet, there's a whole world. You're actually a hero. Go do shit, man. Just like, go save this world. It's all there. Go do it.
It feels like a modern adaptation of that feeling that people must have had when they played the original Legend of Zelda on the NES, which I never did at the time, and it's never go back. You can't go back and hold games like that. But
unless you pick up your DeLorean.
Yeah. Where Skyward Sword really felt like it felt old when it came out. It felt like just a step backwards for video gaming in general. Like it just wasn't doing anything new.
Very by the numbers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had some cool motion controls, but that was about it. It seemed like that's all they really pioneered there. But this really feels like Nintendo has since then been paying attention to everything that's been happening in the video game world, all the cool new trends and everything, and they've just taken it to the next level and synthesized all of these things into this perfect entity. I think people will be learning from and emulating this game for 10 years.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
It's got stuff from Dark Souls.
It feels very Dark Souls.
Like it's very difficult. The combat system is it's a simple, like they show you the combat system early in the game and you're just like, oh, okay, so this is it. And then very quickly it becomes a lot more complicated with combos, you can climb on certain enemies. Certain enemies you have to fight in ways that don't make sense to you until you figure it out. Like that. Certain enemies are puzzles in and of themselves.
Yeah, it's not combat strictly. Like
no.
it's not just hit Y to swing your sword. It's you got to figure out some other stuff.
Yeah, and there's a lot of trial and error. I'll see a little encampment of enemies, and I'll go and try and get them all, and I'll have to do it a number of times to figure out a good plan of attack.
Yeah.
And you can kind of approach situations in multiple different ways.
And you've got the tools to as well. They don't gate you.
And you'll die, and you'll go back to your last save. You'll lose everything that you got, which Nintendo has not done in a lot of years. Nintendo hasn't made a difficult game since, I would say, the GameCube era.
I totally agree with that. Skyward Sword was fairly simple.
Oh, yeah. The only time it was hard was when you were trying to get those goddamn motion controls to work.
Yeah. I'm so glad those have been omitted and they've just gone for...
You get a nice little bit of kind of twitch aiming, which I find really helpful.
So
I like that.
responsive.
That is nice.
Yeah. That's about it.
When I first saw that, I thought I would hate it because I'm not a fan of motion controls in general. But it is just easy to adjust very slightly and get that headshot.
They had that in Wind Waker HD on the Wii U, which was great because you could essentially play the whole game as an FPS, but like GoldenEye. Yeah.
But Nick, you've been playing it on the Wii U.
Yeah, I have.
How does that compare to the Switch? Is it drastically different?
Okay, so before the Switch and Zelda came out, I liked the look of it. I knew I was going to play Zelda, but I wasn't in a position where I was like, look, I'm not going to buy a Switch. Like I didn't have the money. It was only one game. I was in the position that I feel like a lot of people are in, where it's a lot of investment for a single thing. I am now going to buy a Switch.
Oh, mic drop.
That's big. This is not a man who buys consoles.
No, I don't have a PS4. I don't have a Xbox, anything at all. I've never had an Xbox.
Did you have a PS3?
I had a PS3 that was my brother's.
Okay, and what was so Nintendo, you haven't bought Nintendo consoles along the road, right?
Since the Wii.
Since the Wii, okay, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'm a PC gamer primarily.
Nerd.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, man, your video graphics card destroyed.
I need a new graphics card.
Donate now.
But yeah, I'm not going to buy one straight away. I'm going to wait for the DLC to drop in, I think, August and December this year. And then I'm going to buy one and play it.
What is that? The DLC?
There's a DLC for this, man.
Holy crap.
What
Did
is
you
that going to
guys
be?
not
New
know?
temples or?
They've announced DLC. They haven't announced exactly what it is yet. They have announced that there will be a hard mode that they're going to introduce.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. This game is
Wow.
already fucking hard. They're going to put a hard mode in, and it's going to have unannounced content. And there's going to be 2 separate DLC drops that are happening
Interesting.
towards the end of this year. I think it's either August or November, and the second one is definitely in December. And so December, I'm going to buy a Switch. I'm going to buy Zelda again. I'm going to replay it again.
The
playing
glee on your face is just
man.
intoxicating.
Playing it on the Wii U is not bad. It's like the game is still great. The game is incredible. It's really just a comfort thing. Like the Wii U itself is just a prototype for the Switch. It's just a shittier version. Like everything that I'm doing, I could be doing like 50 times better if I were using a Switch. So
Now, on the Wii U, do you have touchscreen menus and stuff?
no. If you touch the screen, it swaps between the TV and the
That's interesting
But
because
handheld.
both Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD made great use of the gamepad, the Wii U gamepad, for selecting items and everything, and using maps, which was great for Wind Waker. That's interesting. This is definitely just feels like kind of a throwaway version of this game.
Yeah,
that
I think
they
it is.
Were obligated to release
Yeah.
because they initially announced it for the Wii U. I'm so glad they really focused on making this a Switch game, unlike with Twilight Princess, which was a GameCube game that they chucked on the Wii when that came out.
Yeah, it feels like a slightly different scenario with Twilight Princess. It feels a lot more. You were meant to play this on the Switch. That's kind of where the game is the right platform to be playing it.
It's just like, frankly, my hands hurt. Like the the Wii U is a heavy handheld, and just playing it like that, my wrists like are giving out. Because frankly, I'm playing this game. Like I played this game. I had a couple days off. I played this game probably like 10 hours each of those days.
Smashing it.
I got sick one day from just staring at the screen for so much. I hadn't gone out, and I was like, oh, I feel terrible. Like it got to the point where I was putting on like layers because I hadn't moved at all.
Whoa.
So like,
That's what this game does. to you.
yeah, my extremities were going numb. I
That's
was
why
like,
we get this guy in, man, because he's in the
Hardcore.
trenches doing it properly.
yeah. This game is addictive, not in the annoying way that many games are these days, where they have like little routines that are designed to hook you, like Candy Crush.
I feel so much less self-hatred after playing this game for 12 hours than I do with literally any other game.
No, it's addictive because you're exploring a whole world and you
Yeah.
feel like you're making progress. You're discovering things, and each thing that you do, even the little things, it's a sense of achievement because you're like, fuck yeah.
And the world is alive. It doesn't feel...
And it's beautiful.
It doesn't feel like just like a computerized sandbox like so many open world games do. Like, yeah, it is this gorgeous open world with all these animals and people who actually have interesting things to tell you. And
Everyone's named.
yeah,
Everyone has a goddamn name. You don't meet like a generic anyone.
I find compared to other Zeldas, when I see a traveler or something, I go and
Yeah.
talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, tell me something, a human. Because the other Zeldas, you got to go through the town and this guy's saying this and it's all throwaway crap. But this, I'm like holding on to every moment.
yeah. And a lot of people have side quests for you, and they feel pretty good. But a lot of people will just tell you something really helpful or interesting about the world, or a little hint towards something that you otherwise would have no idea about because the place is massive.
I do love that the animals, they are actual living entities. And I think there's like 50 to 100 separate animal
Species?
species.
And you can kill and eat them all.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And when you eat them, it feels good.
You gain their courage.
Whenever I do that and Ash is watching me, she gets really upset. So I avoid.
I don't kill foxes;
Yeah.
they're too cute.
No, yeah, I don't kill foxes.
Sometimes I run over them with my horse, and I feel very bad.
I don't kill squirrels either because they're too cute.
But frogs, man, I kill them.
Oh yeah, I get those frogs. I get those fish. I'm hunting deer and
Bears.
Oh, bears is so cool to hunt.
But I think that goes back to what I was saying before. You are a hunter-gatherer. You're on your own. You're traveling this vast landscape. There's a feeling of, unlike other Zeldas, where a sort of isolation, and the enemies can, on a whim, take you out.
You can wander into the wrong area and just be absolutely destroyed.
You can wander into the right area, and someone will smack you. And someone hit me last night. Took off 14 3/4 hearts.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I luckily have 15 hearts. So
I got 15 hearts.
Yeah, I got 15
Wow, I'm
hearts.
so far behind you guys. I've barely played this game.
You spend I was really shocked at how far into the game I was with 4 hearts. Like
That's where I'm at.
you go for a long time before you get any upgrades.
Well, with this open world design, it's designed the way that you can go as far as you want with 4 hearts. Like you have to be able to. Like it's hard as hell, but you have to be able. Like it has to be designed that way because you can go anywhere. You can do like anything. I've done the first what is essentially a dungeon in this game. I've played well over 50 hours, well over, and I've only done that. But at the same time, I've also gone to fight the last boss. It got my ass whooped, but I was there. I explored Hyrule Castle for like 2 hours. It was harrowing.
I cannot go near Hyrule Castle.
I don't know anything about it. I can't wait to go check it out.
I accidentally wandered past at one point, and I was like, "No, I got to get the fuck out of here." I'm afraid of that place.
Is it like a shadow temple, kind of freaky?
No, just like the enemies there are like they'll kill me, man. I'll die. I'll die.
There's
Yeah,
laser
right.
beams coming at you from
Yeah.
every angle.
Let's get into a few spoilers now with where you guys are at in the game and what you've kind of seen. I'm so far behind you guys. I've only got to Kakariko Village, and 4 hearts, but been doing a lot of exploring and just really loving just playing the game. I'm not really concerned with progress.
It doesn't matter. It's so much fun.
But you guys have those giant elemental beasts. You guys have encountered a number of those.
I've freed one of them.
I've freed 2. So we're in weird because this game is so open. Where we've taken very different routes through the game.
Which one did you do first?
I did Ruta, the Gerudo one.
Yeah, so you went to the desert first.
Yeah.
See, I went to the Zoro domain first and did the
So those are
elephant.
exact opposite sides of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because I didn't intend to do anything first. I was just exploring. And I got to the desert and I was like, sweet, I'm going to keep going this way because this seems cool. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this now. Oh, sweet, I'm here.
It takes so long to train yourself to realize that this game really is completely non-linear. Like, I assumed until I talked to other people that I had done the first dungeon. I didn't realize there wasn't a first dungeon.
No.
You can do any... the only hint I had was when I fought the boss of that place, I found it really difficult. I'm like, I don't feel prepared for this at all. And Zelda's like, I think you can do it. I'm like, I don't think so.
I still haven't really picked up on that yet because of where I'm at in the game, but that's really interesting to hear. Do you guys know of a best fit or best methodology to go through?
Just like go where you want to, man.
Yeah.
Like some areas are.
But there is no kind of like ranking between the dungeons.
I don't know.
I haven't heard of anything that suggests like this is the easiest one. Like, you know, in games like this, people say, oh, this is the one you should go to first or something. I haven't heard of anything like that. Everyone seems to be doing something different.
When I went, so I did the Gerudo one first, and then I went and did the Zora one a while after that. Like I meandered my way through the map, and I noticed that I was killing, like my equipment was higher than the enemies that I was fighting, so I was killing guys pretty easily. But the dungeon itself was still a challenge for me, just because it's not about killing people. Like, a lot of this game is puzzle solving.
Yeah, I feel like they've kind of separated the puzzles, which are in the dungeons and shrines, and then the combat is the world.
Yeah, in the world. Surviving the world is a challenge in and of itself.
Stealth even is a very valid way to go about. You can get an awesome Sheikah outfit early on that just makes you really hard to see.
Is there going to be a green tunic?
So that's all amiibo stuff.
Yeah.
You can get like all of the classic Link costumes.
So Link's costume in this is that blue and brown one.
It's whatever you want. You can get so many different outfits. You dress as a woman for a significant portion of the game.
Yeah. And when you do, people treat you like a woman and they have different dialogue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. I want to go back through like the other parts of the game that I've done and like put on the woman outfit and see what they say now.
Link's a bit of a saucy babe, I guess.
Have you guys, how are the bosses? Are they pretty tough? Are there mini bosses as well?
The world itself has huge creatures scattered around it that you just stumble across, like a giant rock monster, like Garignac from Galaxy Quest. Or a huge Garignac, or a huge Cyclops that just will pick up trees and just throw them at you. And most of the time, I've just been running from these things because they are.
I found a couple in the world, and they're difficult fights that are like weird. You have to figure them out, and I died a lot doing them. The bosses that I fought in the Divine Beasts are more combat oriented, but they're still puzzles as well. Like there's specific things that
there's a mechanic.
Yeah, and you've got to be like, what am I doing wrong? In between, like, oh shit, I'm dead. Oh shit, I'm dead. What am I doing wrong? Oh shit, I'm dead.
And I love that there's no, experience points or anything. You don't have to grind to get better. You just have to get better to get better. You can run away from an enemy, and all you will suffer. You won't get some cool item or something that'll make you a little stronger.
I really look forward to whoever first beats this game with no equipment and no upgrades, because you can do it. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure someone will do it, and it's going to be hilarious to watch.
I just picked up the Master Sword yesterday. Thank you.
What?
Yeah, well, because I was
want the Master Sword.
I was going through so many weapons because they break after a while. And I was just like, the Master Sword surely is going to be unbreakable. So I'm like, I'm just going to go get it. Like, I just focused my attention on doing that. So I've done the first dungeon, then I went to get the Master Sword.
And you've got it?
I've got it.
And how is it?
It's awesome.
It's the Master Sword.
So jealous.
Yeah, it runs out of energy rather than breaking. And then there's a cooldown period. You can't use it for 10 minutes. But then you get it back. And
that's how they do it.
In true Master Sword fashion, you can like shoot little beams out of it, which is very cool.
Oh, yeah.
There are some fucking cool weapons in this game.
Oh, man.
The ancient weapons that you can get, they come in like different versions. You can get like ancient battle axe plus.
Yeah.
And
wow,
they have like, they build on the design each iteration. So the best one that you can get is like fucking ginormous, and it's got a huge pattern in the blade and everything. It looks beautiful, and it's like a laser battle axe, and you're like, this is life.
Yeah, you can essentially get the Balrog's sword.
Can you?
Giant flame blade.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, I've seen that in some footage.
Yeah.
This game, some of the swords even look like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Like humongous oversized swords.
Yeah, I just love the boldness that they've gone, here's Link, he's the little elf man in a green tunic with a Master Sword. But no, you can wear all of these different clothes, whatever you want. Yeah. You can use all of these weird different weapons that Link's never used before. The boomerang blew my mind. You'd throw it, and it comes back, and you just have to catch it like you would pick up any item.
Yeah.
You just have to press A at the right time to catch it.
I've heard that. That's a pretty cool little sort of addition.
Yeah, it's a great way to twist it. And boomerangs are fucking great in this game, by the way. Throwing weapons at people is lovely.
Is there a hook shot?
Not that I found.
Haven't seen anything, though.
Oh, I need a hook shot just for my sanity.
I gotta say, one of the biggest standouts for me in this game, which is such a little thing, but it really blew me away, was the first time I walked into a house. And it's Zelda. You just expect the little walk in the door, fade to black, comes back open, you're in there, the music changes. You open the door, you just walk in, there's people walking around in there.
I was exactly the same, man.
Yeah.
I was kind of almost sat there for a couple seconds, like waiting for the animation to start.
Link, walk in.
Where's that?
Yeah, and it going between areas as well. There's no load.
And it's all the more impressive that this is on the Switch, which is essentially a handheld device.
Everyone's knocking the Switch for being not nearly as juiced up to the competitors, but I think this really displays how it's about gameplay and the games themselves as opposed to raw power.
Well, just even knowing how to design it, because this game is huge and it is beautiful. So clearly Nintendo knows how to make this thing sing, because it does not look like an outdated game or anything. It is as beautiful as anything out there.
The game looks so pretty.
Yeah.
The grass, in particular.
The
Yeah, yeah,
animals, like foxes, you get a camera, and there are photos that I'm going to keep because they're beautiful. Like there are scenes that I've taken photos of that I'm like, this is amazing.
Some scenes almost feel like Studio Ghibli.
Yes, parts of this game feel very, very Ghibli.
The character design is amazing. It is like it's always been good in Zelda games, but it's really next level in this one. Like the animation, it's gorgeous. So much character.
Have you seen? So you can, if you kill skeletons, you can pick up their arm and use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
Have you yet had the opportunity? If you've got it equipped, it's on your back, and every now and then it'll like reach over and tap you on the back, and you'll freak out and you go and look over your shoulder, and the hand will like freeze.
It has a lot more sort of those little human elements.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
people go to work and they go home, they go to bed. This is all in this not real time, but day-night cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They walk around. It starts raining, they'll cover up and run for cover.
home. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask was one of the first to kind of tap into that.
It feels very much like that. It feels like they've taken a lot of things from different Zeldas, and it has this world that churns like that on the clock.
One of the towns that you go to early on, not Kokoriko, Hateno. When you go there, there's a guy who offers to give you a tour. But if it's raining, he won't do it because it's raining.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and the weather's just random. It rolls in and rolls out.
And the weather can like absolutely fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to climb this mountain. Oh shit, it's raining. Can't climb a mountain anymore.
No good.
Got to figure out something else. Have you been hit by lightning yet?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh god, it's terrifying.
I was looking at a fox through my camera. I'm like, that's so beautiful. And then I put the camera away and I just see the shield on my back is just firing sparks everywhere. I was like, what's that? And suddenly, boom, I am dead.
Just going back to what you said before, Ben, about this taking elements from other Zeldas, I think this one definitely feels like that, especially in the different races that are in there. It's got Zoras and Rito and Gerudos, Gorons, Koroks. So we've got from Wind Waker and Ocarina and all these other entries into the franchise, we've got a number of different races, and I've yet to encounter them, but what do those villages feel like and those settlements and the races as well?
The Kurok village is beautiful. Like, finding the Kuroks is fun, but when you go to their home, it's just like...
excuse me, I think you'll find it's Koroks.
Korok, excuse me.
Kurok.
Dinosaur hunter. So I love how all of the races have been beautifully redesigned in this game.
Except for the Koroks.
Except for the Koroks, who look exactly like straight out of Wind Waker. I love that they've just thrown what's come before out the window, like acknowledging it, that they all just really look of this game. And
The Zoras are purple, right?
they're all different things. Like a manta ray one. There's a blue whale one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're more fish inspired.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
They're all different like kinds of them, and they're cool.
And the Gorons?
They look like Gorons.
they're good. They're rock people. They're rock people. What are you gonna get?
I gotta say, this game is 100% more than anything a sequel to Wind Waker, which possibly controversial, but I think that was really the zenith of the Zelda series. I think they just nailed everything in that game, and this one just feels like it's captured the spirit of it again so perfectly. The exploration and the adventure and the experimentation, like in Wind Waker, how you could steal enemies' weapons and throw them back at them. You could use all different items and like body parts off them. And this is doing that to the nth degree.
How can we do a spoiler discussion without talking about the cooking?
God, I love cooking shit in this game.
It's so much fun, isn't it? Those gimmicky mechanics, I cannot get into them. I don't give a shit. But this one, I don't know what it is, but they have completely nailed it. And I love cooking things or trying different combinations out. Oh, this one's going to give me 5 hearts. This one's going to give me 8 hearts and coldness, resistance. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so intuitive as well. It's like you just pick real world ingredients that you think would make a certain dish, and boom, there you have that dish.
And you're like, how far can I fucking stretch this? I made risotto the other day.
Really?
Yeah, you can make risotto.
Whoa.
Yeah, you make like meat and rice balls and
Yeah.
curries. And
And I love if you put in like a geese eyeball or something, it'll just be this horrible gloop. It once again adds to that world building, fleshing out the world, making it feel tangible and real and lived in.
The cooking has made it so that actually hunting animals is a worthwhile endeavor that you want to do, and finding food is a experience and a reward. Like at one point I found a stack of like 15 bananas and I was like, this is the best treasure I've found in this game so far.
Yeah.
Give me them bananas.
Yeah.
Funny, isn't it?
It's amazing. It really is with this game. The masterstroke is just everything that would feel like a chore in other games feels rewarding. You want to do it. I don't know how they've achieved that, but it's never a grind. It's just exploring and collecting and finding new things.
Taming horses and making friends with them.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell me how to tame a horse? Because I just run after these horses and they run away from me and I'm like, I don't want to look it up, but I'm doing something wrong.
You got to sneak. You got to sneak up on them.
Sneaking, you mean crawling the grass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the like hipster way is to glide down on them and
Yeah,
just
jump
land
onto
on
their
one
back,
of
yeah.
them.
Oh, mind blown.
That's it. I didn't realize this until much later, but the very first horse I got on was I glided down to it and landed on it. It was the giant horse.
Oh, you got the fucking giant horse?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I've been looking everywhere for the
Is
giant
it
horse.
that much bigger than the other ones?
It's like
It's
twice
enormous.
the size. Yeah, it's huge. I'm like, oh, that looks like a cool horse. And just landed right on it. I'm like, yeah.
There are all different kinds of special horses that you can get as well. I've seen people online riding stags.
Okay.
Wow.
And apparently the rhinos as well.
There's rhinos.
Yeah, there's rhinos in this game.
There's rhinos? Oh my god. There's so... See, you guys, Benny's played 50 hours. You've played how many?
30,
Nick?
35.
35. There's still so much to be seen.
There's still so many surprises.
I guess wrapping things up, how long do you guys think you will be playing this game for?
100 plus hours.
The rest of the year?
Oh, well, yeah, because I'm going to play this. I'm going to finish it on the Wii U, and then I'm going to buy it again, and I'm going to play it again. Like, yeah, I'm going to play this game for a long time.
I'm already 50 plus hours. I've done so little of the story. I wouldn't be surprised if I hit 200 in this.
It feels like I don't have that urgency to finish the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And I don't... I guess with Skyward Sword, I really wanted to just get through it and try and finish it. And this one, I've barely played anything and I'm feeling so content. I'm not feeling like I need to grind through and get it done. You know, as we've been saying, it's just a fun game to play and the mechanics and the gameplay is just so inviting and the world feels incredible. I think we're all on the same page here. Could be the best Zelda. It probably is the best Zelda if we're being completely frank. I mean, I love Ocarina and Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. Nostalgia-wise, those games are close to my heart, but this game on multiple levels just is the next iteration of Zelda.
Yeah, I agree. It's the best Zelda.
This is the best Zelda. It absolutely is. I don't think... I mean, time will bear it out, but I don't think you can have a conversation about the best game of all time without talking about this game now. I think it has entered the conversation in a very serious way. And for me personally,
You personally?
me personally,
Me personally.
I think this is the best game ever made.
It's a bold call, but
It is. It's mad, but that's just what this game is.
I'm on the same page, man.
I'd say it's in the top 5.
Well done, Nintendo, and
Yeah.
thanks so much for coming on the show, Nick.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Hopefully we'll see you around more. We want to try and get more video game content out there, so this is the first of many future video game episodes. We've got a number of other shows up this week, including our top 10, where we break down all the week's biggest movie news, as well as our Kong Skull Island spoiler review. And we'll be back next week for more antics. Thanks so much for joining us. Signing out.
See ya.
Later.